Hello everyone, welcome to the second part of Docker Volume. And if you want to follow along this video well, please watch the first section of Docker Volume. And if you like my content so far, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. So without any further ado, let us get started. Alright, so now I'm logged in um, to my EC2 instance. As I've discussed in my earlier video, this is a EC2 instance spun up in the AWS environment. So I am logged in, I'm SSH into this instance. All right. So I am inside my folder. So let me go to cd docker containers. And so let me first discuss about the named volume, the first one that we discussed. All right. So before I do anything, let me first do the clearing. So let me first do docker remove f and docker ps aq. All right. So this will remove all the containers that I might have from the earlier session. So docker system prone all the images, yes. So this will remove all the images, everything associated. So we are ready to go. We have a clean slate here. So if I do docker ps8, nothing is running. So let us start. All right. So first thing, if you remember from our earlier discussion, the first thing we need to do is we need to create a volume which will be mapped to our container. So the way we do that is we do docker create volume, and let me name that volume. Oh, sorry, my bad. This is a wrong command. So docker volume. So we'll always add docker volume create my vol. All right. So this is created. So as I was explaining earlier, where does this create is where is this getting created, right? Because this managed volume is maintained by Docker. So Docker varliv, if you go into the varliv Docker, you'll see cd volume. So this is where we have our volume. All right. So you see cd my volume, and currently my volume is empty. So if I cd my vol, there is nothing. So cd go data. This is an empty folder right now. Okay. So this is where we have created our volume. So now let me go here Docker container. So let me go here. Now let me run one container and map the container volume to this volume. All right. So this is what we were discussing earlier. So Docker run. So I can do interactive. So my name. So let me name it test dev. This is the name of my container. And then for volume, the flag that we use is dash v. We can also use dash dash mount, but this is the one that I use. So this is the one I find comfortable. So volume. So what are we mapping to, right? So we are mapping my volume. This is the volume that we created. We want to map everything that is in the temp folder of our container. We want to map this to our volume. So meaning this is the container uh, folder location, file location. This is where we are mapping all that data, meaning we are storing that data external to our container. All right. So that is that. And then let's do Ubuntu image. So we are mapping our container to this particular named volume, right? So this is here. Okay. So now if I do cd tmp folder, and let me create some file touch. Let's do file 1 dot xml. Let's do file 2 dot txt, right? So let me create this file. So this is inside my container. Remember that, all right? So now let me get out of this container. So you should do control PQ, that will exit you out of the control container, okay? And please be careful on this one, because that way you see my container is also still up and running. If you exit out of it, it will stop the container and you might not be able to attach again, okay? So control PQ. So now we're out of your container. So now let us go back to that same folder, var live docker and sorry, volumes, right? So you see my vol there. So go to cd my vol and you see cd data. Let us go inside there. Voila, so you see both the file created inside here, text file and XML file. So again, the reminder, we were adding those files to our container, but this volume is automatically updated. Okay, so that is the whole purpose of volume. This is just for the sake of saving our data from our container. So let's say, let me go back. Okay. Um, Let me go back and so let me do docker psa. So I have this container, right? Test dev container. So let me remove this container now. So let's do remove force. Let's do the container. Let's say someone deleted this container. All right. So if I do docker psa, no more container is here, right? But if you still go to var live docker and cd volumes, and if you go to my vol cd data, you'll still see those files. So this is how our data is protected even if the container is deleted. So this is the main point of um, having our named volume. All right. And if you remember from my earlier video, what I was explaining is the arrow, right? It's a two-way arrow. It's not just when you map to your container, it maps to your named volume, but it's the other way around. So if you also mapped to your named volume, it will be mapped to your container. So let us see that example, all right? So if I do docker ps all right, so I have my Docker container ready, test dev 11. Okay, so now let me go to cd var live docker uh, volumes, and I'm hitting tab button. Okay, if what you're thinking there, like I'm just hitting the tab, it will fulfill um, the thing for me. All right, so I'll do data. And now, if you see, I have two files here, right? So let me add another file, touch file 4.txt. So I added that file. So now let me go to my container docker. So this is the command, okay, docker attach. So attach to test test dev 11. So you are inside your container. So now if you go cd dot tmp, you see, so now you have the file 4.txt added on your container as well. All right, so this is what I was telling you about the arrow, where I was showing you that this arrow is like this. It's a two-way arrow. Either you add to the container, that same container is the same content is added to your named volume, or if you add something to your named volume, the same thing is added to your container. So this is what uh, I was trying to prove you through this. All right, so now we are done through this. So let us go ahead and I'll show you how to now remove your content, remove your named volume. All right, so you cannot simply go and remove your named volume. It won't let you do that. So if I go so now if I try to do docker volume remove my volume. So it will say if your volume is in use, right? So it's because I need to remove my container first before I delete the volume. All right. So what I do is docker psa. So I'll go ahead and docker remove force uh, my test dev. So this is the container. So now my container is not running. So now I can go docker volume. Always you have to do volume first. Okay, so this is the syntax difference with volume. You always do volume. Docker volume remove my vol. All right, so now that volume is removed. Sorry, var leave, my bad. Var leave docker cd volumes. You see there is no more my vol. Okay, so what we did in this first section is we created a volume, added that volume to our container, and then we added some file, we removed the file, and then we deleted the container, and also we removed the volume. Okay, so this is the first part of our hands-on. So now let us move to our second topic, which is the bind volume. All right, so that's it for the named volume. And one last thing I'd like to suggest to all my viewers, please make a habit of checking the official documentation. I'll also put that link in this video because that's the best way to learn any new tool. All right, so that's what I follow all the time as well. And the second thing is I'll also put all the command that I ran in this video in the video link itself. So please check that out. And if you need to copy, try it on your own end, please feel free to do that. And I will see you on the next section. Thank you very much.